So there's a woman going viral talking about how she had a sneaky link for the last 20 years. So y'all know what I did. I went straight to the comments. Now, I was going to stitch her video, but I'm like, I know I ain't on the drama side of TikTok no more. I know that it can cause a lot of drama. She probably would take that I'm trying to throw shots at her, but I'm not. I'm just, making an observation. But I went to the comment section, and all the women in there that say they've been with a sneaky link. Some said 18 years. One lady said 25 years. Other women saying 10 years, 12 years, 7 years, 8 years, 5 years. All these women, a bunch of women. If y'all see that video, just go to the comments. It's going viral. And look at all the women who said they have sneaky links. Now, here's the crazy thing. Me being a journalist that I am, the hood journalist, I'm a hood journalist. I'm not one by education. I'm a hood journalist. I went to a lot of their profiles and I was looking for one particular thing, whether they had kids or not. And all those women who said they had sneaky links for these many years all had kids. Even the woman who was talking about how she had the same sneaky link for 20 years. She had car seats and, when you go to her page, she got kids.
Right.
Who's those kids' father?
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
All right, so this chick is sort of going viral right now with this conversation that she sparked with this video, but really it's another video that started it all off. Notice the title here, the caption of this video says Emergency D. And people are talking about her being married. And a lot of the women in the comment section of her video have had families, been married, but somehow they claim that they've had these 20-year-long, 15-year-long, some of them even 30-year-long, I'll show you the comments, sneaky links, situationships that survived through relationships and marriages. And she admits she's cheated. She says it, I have cheated. And then all of a sudden wants people to believe, oh, but when we were married, I didn't step out. And people are having a hard time believing that.
So that implies, I'm taking y'all somewhere, that while you was in a relationship with those kids' fathers, your sneaky link was still activated. He wasn't deactivated. He wasn't deactivated. You just confessed to everybody that you had the same sneaky link for 20 years. So while you was in a relationship with your kid's father, or whether he was your husband, long-term boyfriend, whoever, your sneaky link was still activated. So that tells me women is cheating just as much as men. They just don't get caught because they know at the end of the day, that's like the ideal situation for any man, to be a sneaky link. Now, I'm a man of God, so that's not my ideal situation. But a lot of men who don't have these core values like I have, that's the ideal situation. Oh, yeah, I could smash that. I could beat that booty up any which way and send her back home to her husband. Yeah, I'll take that for 20 years, Alex. So that tells me a lot of y'all ain't nothing. That's why when women get up on here and say, well, men is this and men is dogs, and men, I laugh at them because I'm like, yeah, you only saying that because you didn't get caught. That's it. You only saying it because you didn't get caught and he did, and you in your emotions. And you getting your lick back with that your very active sneaky link that you had over the duration of you and your ex-husband's relationship. I'm gone.
That's a fact. That's a fact. What do you guys think of what was said there? Now, I know, like I said earlier, she was like, oh yeah, I cheat a few times, but not when I was married. Like, come on. Stop it. If you were doing it back when you had relationships and you were thinking, I cannot resist, back when you were technically not legally binded to somebody, what makes you think that all of a sudden most of these chicks who, let's be honest, a lot of these chicks don't really claim to have any faith, or, their moral compass is themselves. Like the guy said, he does his best to be a Christian man. I do my best to try and uphold Christian values within my life. That's the goal. Of course, we all fall short of our ideals, and no one is better than anybody else. Don't let anybody convince you otherwise. But there's something strange about all these women with kids and, divorced, and they're like sneaky link for all those years, but he never hit. Come on. But hey, I may be wrong. Here's the original video. I'll let you guys judge for yourself.
Okay, bitch, so here it goes. So me and this guy have been friends since we were like 12. And we started messing around when we were like 20. Yes, 40. I'm old as. And so we've just been messing around. Like when we were younger, we used to be really toxic. Like we didn't care if we had boyfriends or girlfriends, we would still mess around. But like as the years going on, and I don't cheat because I feel like that's really bad karma. Every time I've cheated, I've gotten like my handed to me in karma. So I don't do that anymore. So that's why I said I call him up when I don't have a boyfriend, because I literally don't. And he knows this. He knows I don't cheat. If he cheats, that's his. If he wants that karma, that's on him. That ain't my.
Not buying it.
That could be argued too. I don't give. So I don't ask questions. We're not like that. Like I don't give a what you're doing. And he acts like he doesn't give a what I'm doing, but he'll question me. Anyways, so like he'll randomly hit me up and be like, "Are you still with so and so? Are you still?" Yes, I'm still with so and so. Okay, and we don't do anything.
But let's think about that for a second, right? Think about that for a second. Think about that for a second. Please follow me. You claim that you didn't cheat on your husband, but the man can still call you and reach out and be like, "Hey, so you still with that goofy husband of yours, or you guys still together?" Yeah, we're still together. Nah, you can't clap the cheeks. Nah, you're so toxic, right? Like that's what's going on. Why is he able to reach out to you? Why is he able to reach out and even ask if you're married? Right? Because you know why? Because you still want him to bust the cheeks fast, not slow.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
That is the truth. You can try to act like that's not what it is, but that's the truth. If he's still able to reach out to you and ask you if you're still married, that in itself is a problem. Big problem.
But if I'm single, I will hit him up and be like, "Hey, it's been a minute. What's up?" And then we link. The car seat in the back is not his kid. I was married. I have a 6-year-old. And
hey, bro, if you're watching, it might be a good idea to get that looked into. And guys, I'm not somebody who thinks every time you have a child, no matter the situation, you should test the kid. And I don't go that extreme with it. I think it shouldn't be a big deal if a man asks, "Hey, I think I want to get the kids tested." Cool, sure, why not? Now, mandatory testing on a state or federal level, that's a conversation that could be had, and definitely I support that. But there's a lot of weird stuff here, man. It's just weird.
I didn't cheat during those whole years. That's the car seat. I can't stand you guys. But I feel like when there has never been a relationship, like boyfriend-girlfriend relationship, it works out better because there's not that like jealousy and like emotions. So like one of my ex tried that. He's like, "Why can't I have the same relationship that you have with your sneaky link?" Because he knew about it. I told him about it. Like after the fact, I told him about it. And I was like, we just can't, because there's feelings. We care for each other. Like it gets messy. I don't want that. I don't want the mess. I want strictly business. You go your way, I go my way. I'll hit you up when I hit you up. That's it. Like, I don't know. It just works that way for me because I'm a Pisces and I got emotions. I got strong emotions, and I'll let them get involved in my situation. And so I don't know. We just been doing this shit for 20 years. Like we'll go years without seeing each other or even talking sometimes. Like he'll hit me up every Thanksgiving. Those are our thing. Like he seems to hit me up religiously on Thanksgiving, regardless of where he's at. So
bro, this is crazy. But if you thought that was wild, check out these comments from these women who also have 20 to 30 year-long sneaky links, right? Who I'm sure these chicks saw no problem with those men if they were also able to get a hold of them within their marriage. Maybe you disagree. Maybe you're like, "Hey, I see nothing wrong with this." Comment down below. Let me know. Let's check out some of these comments. First comment who says 30 plus years and counting. Keep in mind, my guy earlier was talking about how most of these women had kids and they were married. So 30 plus years and counting, somewhere in between there, you had a marriage. Listen, somebody else here says, "Me and mine going on 10 years, LOL. So it's still going." Here's another person who says, "Why do I feel This is my story. I'm a Pisces, and it's been 22 years. But besides that, everything you said is on point. Here's somebody else who says 25 years and going. I don't cheat. And I don't ask questions. He definitely cares more than I do. I don't cheat and I don't ask questions. Right. Here's another person who says mine is 15 years long on/off with the side eye and the laughing emojis. Now, do I think that like if things don't work out with you and the person you're dating and your husband, you know, you're free, you're single, right? But this whole thing of, oh, he calls me and he checks up on me and asks, hey, can I clap those cheeks? No, I'm married. Okay, so how have you been? I've been doing, let's catch up. Like, what's going on? Somebody else here says 20 years strong. It works great. Here's another, oh, that's it. That's everything we have. You know, there's a saying that talks about how a lot of women, when they step out, have a guy who they just know, like, I can always call this guy. They have something lined up. I think there was a study about this. Now, no, I'm not saying that every woman in a relationship is getting her cheeks clapped. No. I am saying, however, is there was a study that showed how women have men lined up. Like 50% of women have, let me see, backup plans or something.
The day is shaping up to be pretty decent, Brooks says, weather-wise. He'll tell you more about that in just a few minutes. Right now, though, if you were in a relationship, should you really have a backup plan? There is new research that shows half of all women have a guy on the back burner just in case things go wrong in their current relationship. Physician and national mindful living expert Dr. Romy Mushtaq is here to talk more about that. Dr. Romy, seriously?
Good morning, Tom. I know. And I
Come on, this sounds positively guy,
doesn't it? And I have to sit here and defend all of us women, but this is the latest psychology research. I was just as shocked reading this data. More than half of women who are married and categorize themselves as happily married.
Wait a sec.
They're married.
Happily married women are doing this?
Have a backup plan. And what is a backup plan? It means you have someone on the back burner.
So a specific person they've identified.
And in most cases, it was either an ex-boyfriend or an old friend who never made it to the dating category.
Get out of town.
Unfortunately, yes. And the problem is social.
I'm not too surprised by this at all. I think the question I would have is like, what I'd want to know what separates the other 50% and the 50% who do have the backup plan. And they said happily married, right?
Social media has just made it too easy to have such a type of behavior.
Right. So I know you're here to say, though,
yes,
watch out, because this
Absolutely.
is anything but good.
It is. I agree. You know, mindset matters in relationships, Tom. And I tour the country teaching psychologists mindful living and how to apply it to relationships. And what is your mindset telling us if you have a back burner? It's telling us we don't know how to communicate well in a relationship, or when the going gets tough, instead of maybe learning important skills from a professional on how to cope with all the ups and downs that always happen in a marriage, we're saying it's okay to run away.
Yeah, I mean, the first thing that comes to my mind is that shows just a total lack of commitment.
I agree. Well, I don't know if it's a lack of commitment, or is it that people haven't learned the appropriate coping skills? You know, it's a direct projection of how we feel about ourselves. If we're not comfortable in a relationship and wanting to run away, we have to be comfortable with the relationship first with ourselves. And if there's a problem in the marriage, there's no shame in getting help from a licensed professional, Tom.
So, and that's where I was going right now. Mm-hmm. If there's somebody out there who's watching right now and says, you know what, that's me. Mm-hmm. I want to change this.
Yes.
What steps should they start taking?
Step one, delete that backup burner plan from your cell phone, Twitter account, Facebook, however you're in connection with them. You know, take the temptation out. Two, find a licensed mental health therapist who specializes in couples therapy. Mm-hmm. We discuss it at nationalmarriageseminars.com. You can find free advice there and training for professionals on how to cope with such issues.
And honestly, it may not be physical cheating,
Right.
But if this isn't psychological cheating and emotional cheating, it sure is darn close.
You know, Tom, you bring up such a great point. And what happens when we're emotionally or psychologically cheating, it's one wrong thing happens in the marriage or a hard time, and it could easily turn into a separation and a divorce.
Absolutely.
And we want to save couples and marriages, right?
All right, so that's that video, is pretty much most of it. Here's my take on this particular situation. The video is titled Why Married Women Have a Backup Burner Relationship. Dr. Romy on Fox 35 News, Orlando. So keep in mind that this video was published 10 years ago, right? Two really significant factors that I believe contribute to this. Number one, if you're messing with a woman, this is most women. Women bond through sex. They'll tell you that they are like men, but they're not. Most women, when they're sleeping with the guy, this is on a biological level, bond via oxytocin within that sexual experience. They get the larger dose of that chemical. So if it's an ex or somebody who she used to be romantic with and they slept together, there's some bonding and attachment that happened there. And the second part to this is, if you're a guy messing with the woman and you get into a relationship and you leave her and you get married, most chicks are going to be jealous, right? Women have a difficult time separating sex and love. And you moving on to them is kind of like a betrayal. And so they're cutting you off. They look at you like, wow, you chose her over me. Now, might some of them take you back after you leave? Yeah, they might take you back. But in that moment, when you choose to marry another woman, most of them view it as you chose that person. And it's almost like a rejection of them, and they'll want to cut you off. Men, on the other hand, don't think that way. They're able to separate sex and love. So if there's a guy who had a relationship with that woman, even if he's a friend, he's thought about it. She gets married. If this is 10 years ago, and we know most people today think that friendships between men and women are okay. Only people who drink coffee and within these spaces admit the uncomfortable truth of male and female friendships, which is that man will probably sleep with that woman, even if she's married, unless if he has some type of moral compass that holds him up to a different standard, religion, or his own standards. But most guys would do it. And in many cases, even the ones who try to reach for a certain standard fall, and they do it too. What am I trying to say here? You're more likely to have a man not be jealous that she got married and for them to keep communicating, because in this society, you're toxic for saying, hey, you shouldn't have a male friend. Those guys stay connected. They won't admit what they really want. She keeps communicating with him. And it's just as of a recent that I think this conversation of like relationships outside of marriages has been had from the perspective of, I don't agree with that. This was 10 years ago when this last video was published. And I'm sure during that time, they were really standing on that, oh, he's just a friend, right? And everybody believed it. Last couple of points. I know I said 2 points, but a few more. That whole, are you happy within your marriage, to me is worthless. Feelings change all the time. If you're judging a relationship on happiness, and one day you're going to wake up not happy, and you may start thinking, hey, why don't I hit up so-and-so and see how he's doing? Which leads me to my final point. I believe more women today view their first marriage like some type of a tryout that they could always just jump out of if they needed to, right? And of course, if you are engaged or planning to be married soon, make sure you protect yourself, because it could be anybody. It could be anybody. Right? You can't be overly confident. Of course, you want to go in there with the right type of mindset, but most people today don't look at marriage like, hey, this other person is committed to holding true to their vows no matter what. No, which is why I encourage engaged or soon to be married men to head over to fathershaverights.com and get access to the #1 guide to drafting a solid and legally binding prenuptial agreement. Yes, that is the sponsor of today's video, guys. Of course, I'm curious to know what you think. Comment down below. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.